Patrick Lecture 147, The Nature of Life and the Nature of Man, Week 3, Discerning Real Feelings from False Feelings. I can talk a bit about the difference between the two, and I find that for many people, what matters most is to find your starting point, meaning we all have an inner knowing. That's part of what Pathwork is attempting to support us in developing. Our access to it, our understanding of it, our ability to translate it, to interpret it clearly. So we have an inner knowing. Real feelings come from this inner knowing. Real feelings flow, they don't avoid, they're not inherently bad or good, they come and go. The false feelings are where the ego, the superimposed or the personality, isn't quite sure what's going on. And we're second guessing. And we're second guessing with our experience, with our prejudices, with our fears, with our cultural prohibitions. And so we're substituting for these real feelings, or we're reinterpreting them. We're also bundling them up so that we can achieve an agenda. So real feelings have, false feelings have an agenda. They want to avoid something. Now, even if they want something to avoid something else. So there is always an element of duality in false feelings. Because there's this element of duality, there's always a push, there's a combined energy, there's a restlessness, there's anxiety and fear. It incorporates self-will, let's fix this. It incorporates pride. I want to show that I'm better than what other people might think I am. I don't want to be ashamed. I don't want to expose my lack of skills. I want to look better than I am. False feelings are all wrapped up with this. They substitute for the real ones. They utilize the real ones. They've already decided what's good or bad, what feeling is good and what feeling is bad, whether it's appropriate or not. And if it's inappropriate, they're not interested in the grain of truth of why that feeling came up. They're more interested in wiping it out. False feelings require maintenance. It's as if they're so active, they need to eat all the time. So they can't just be, because then they wouldn't exist. So they're constantly having to pump themselves up energetically. They're calling on motivations of all sorts and kinds. Now, real feelings, they flow, they don't avoid, they're inherently neutral. I'm sad, I'm angry is not a drama. It's not a condemnation of anything. It's not a message to run away. I'm tired, I'm angry, I'm sad, I'm confused. They just are. Now, I have an image in my head of a cloud chamber. I would take my children to a children's museum, a children's science museum, and there would be this huge, giant thing that looked like a big aquarium filled with fog. And I don't know the details. You'll have to Google it. But it was specially designed so that as cosmic particles interacted with the Earth, they would move through this cloud of gas and they would leave a vapor trail, similar to how a meteor might look in the night sky. What was fascinating is they would come from the top, but they would also come from the bottom. That these kinds of cosmic particles can actually penetrate the Earth and keep going. They pay no attention to the entire planet. Zing right through it. When you watch a cloud chamber, you're seeing all kinds of activity, but there's no danger. There's no momentum forward. There's nothing to do except notice. Now, scientists have their exploration of that, but what I'm describing is that's how feelings are. They move through us. They come from directions we weren't expecting. They zing through and they're gone. We may wonder what that was about, but that's almost after the fact. Now, they may last longer if there are multiples of those feelings at the same time. Like there are creeks, and then there are rivers, and then there are oceans. but they don't really last unless we put more energy into them, unless we maintain them, unless we hold on to them. So that's the difference. But I want to go back to the more important thing is this. The guide says you have to have humility to do this work. And this is an example of finding and having humility. You start where you can. You start at the level of perception that you have. All I'm saying is that everyone has the capacity for perception. They may not have used it. And using perception is a skill. So I don't know how far back you'll need to go to find your real feelings or how long it will take, but it takes as long as it takes until you locate them, until you can identify them, until you can recognize them as they come and go. You really can't analyze them much further than that. You need to know what's going on before you can interact. So, discerning real feelings from false feelings, a few clues. Hopefully that helps. Hope you read the lecture. Thanks.